For years, AI agents have felt like they were stuck in the demo phase. Really cool experiments for sure, but not exactly real-world workers. Well, that has officially changed. We're going to dive into how these agents are finally clocking in for serious jobs across the entire enterprise. Let's just start with the number, 30. Now, that's not a deadline or a project length. Nope, it's something way, way bigger. 30 hours, that's right. That is how long Anthropic's new AI model, Claude Sonnet 4.5, can code all by itself, nonstop. This isn't just a small step up, it's a completely different league of AI capability. And a breakthrough like that is exactly why we're seeing agents finally get to work. This is the moment they graduate from being a cool science fair project to an absolutely essential tool for serious, complex work. And just look at the scale of this jump. The previous top model, Opus, it could go for about 7 hours on its own. Sonnet 4.5? It doesn't just double that, it more than quadruples it. We are now talking about an AI that can literally build an entire application from start to finish all by itself. But listen, this isn't just about stamina, right? It's about skill. On a key coding test called SWE-bench, Sonnet 4.5 scores an impressive 77.2%. And if you give it a bit more computing power to work with, that score jumps to 82%. So these agents aren't just working longer, they're working a whole lot smarter. This new level of skill has basically created a whole new category, the agent-grade model. This isn't your average chatbot, no. This is an AI that's built for what the experts call long-horizon tasks. Those really complex projects that require using different tools, correcting its own mistakes, and doing it all safely inside a company's secure systems. Now, even a super powerful brain like Claude needs senses to really be effective. It needs access to what's happening right now. And that's where a company like Perplexity comes in, with a new search API that's built specifically for agents. Instead of just dumping a bunch of messy web pages, it delivers clean, structured, pre-ranked info. That speed and accuracy is the key to stopping an agent from just making things up or hallucinating. So what happens when you combine a powerful AI brain with super sharp, real-time senses? Well, businesses don't just get a new tool. They start to fundamentally rewire how they operate to take advantage of what's now possible. And the speed of this change is just incredible. Get this, a massive 68% of organizations expect to have agents working in their core operations by 2026. This isn't a fringe trend anymore. It's becoming the new standard for doing business, and it's happening fast. And you can see this happening all over the place. JP Morgan is building AI helpers for every single employee. Microsoft is plugging Claude right into Copilot. ServiceNow is creating something called an agent fabric just to manage all the new AI workers. And Sprinkler is using them for customer service. The new corporate toolkit is already being rolled out. So how are companies actually handling this massive shift? It's not like they just flip a switch. We're seeing a pretty clear 3-step journey. They start by using agents as simple tools. Then they graduate to having them as actual teammates. And the final step, treating them as a real part of the workforce. And this really gets to the heart of it. The whole conversation has changed. It's no longer about just showing off flashy demos. Now it's about the hard, practical stuff, governance, getting your data ready, and redesigning workflows. Of course, building this whole new agent economy, well, it doesn't come cheap. And the price tag for the infrastructure required is, honestly, it's pretty staggering. $2.8 trillion. Let that sink in for a second. That's trillion with a T. And that's not just some random number. That's Citigroup's latest forecast for what the world is going to spend on AI infrastructure by 2029. We're talking everything from data centers and power grids to the actual chips. It is a monumental investment to power this new workforce. So whenever you see that much money flooding into one area, you have to ask the big question. Is this a sustainable boom or a dangerous bubble? And the experts, they're totally split. On one side, you have people like Jim Cramer arguing this is nothing like the dot-com era because today's AI companies have real profits. But on the other side, investors like Bill Smead are warning that a lot of these companies are overvalued and a correction is probably coming. The stakes are just incredibly high. With so much money and power flying around, we have to talk about the new rules for these new tools. As we give agents more and more autonomy, the challenges around security, safety, and human oversight become absolutely critical. And the threats are getting incredibly sneaky. AWS recently put out a warning about a technique called Unicode character smuggling. Think of it like a Trojan horse for AI prompts. It's a way to hide malicious instructions for an AI inside what looks like normal text by using invisible characters. I mean, this is the new frontier of cyber warfare. All of this is leading to a really simple but powerful rule, especially in areas like the media. Human first, human last. It just means that no matter how smart the AI gets, the final decision, the final sign-off always has to come from a person. That's the safety net. It's non-negotiable. So what are the best practices for actually deploying these agents safely? Well, a few key strategies are popping up. First, make them specialists. Don't try to build one super agent that does everything. Lock down their permissions and the tools they can use. And this is a big one. Design your system so that if something goes wrong, a human sees it immediately. Okay, so all of this brings us to the future, to the really big question. For decades, the business model for software has been simple: the seat license. You pay for each person who uses the tool. But what happens when the tool starts doing the work all by itself? I mean, just listen to this prediction from Sam Altman at OpenAI. By the end of this decade, AI could be doing 30 to 40% of all the economic tasks we do today. Now, even if he's off by a bit, you can see where this is all heading. And what that means is the entire economic model is flipping on its head. You already have companies like Paid building platforms for this new reality. You're not going to pay for 10 of your employees to use a marketing tool anymore. No, you're just going to pay the AI agent directly for the outcome you want, say 10,000 qualified leads. Which leaves us with one final and kind of provocative question. When work shifts from being measured in human hours to being measured in automated outcomes, we have to ask ourselves, who captures all that value? Who profits in an economy where the workers are made of code? That's the real challenge and the opportunity of this new agent era.